Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, I would definitely recommend your services. I'm glad that we bought the property that is not affected by the floods, to be honest with you much.
Hi everyone, this is John from Admire Property Group, and I'm very excited that we have got one of our best clients, Ankit, online today, and we will have some discussions with him, and we'll discuss how his property journey went with us when he bought his property with us. So Ankit, I'll leave it on to you. If you can just start a little bit about yourself, your background, and can let us know like what made you to start investing in real estate.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, John. Thanks for having me on this session. I run my own marketing firm, and which has given me a good, perspective on the importance of having strategic investment in place, long-term planning, and my interest in real estate basically comes from having a stable and active income in the future. Normally we call it passive income. And the idea of investing is just not about buying a property. It's about having a long-term asset that gives us the fruit in the end, for the future. So I always believe in having multiple properties, good portfolios, which can turn into a good positive income in the end. So the combination of having appealing properties versus a good sort of rental return was always my idea, and I believe that's where the whole journey started, basically.
Yeah, that's good thinking. That's always good to have, like, start thinking about the future, and it's a good solid approach. And with considering that you have got a technical background where you focus a lot of on data and analysis, can you share with us like how do you come across to know about our services, and what made you to decide that using our services as a buyer's agent for your purchases?
Yeah. My work is like pretty hectic on my day-to-day, and it's a very busy schedule. I was always keep my own research, here and there. Funny enough, I actually signed up with a lot of property consultants, like one of the courses as well, and also met a lot of buyers agent as well. And then I think I was exploring social media, and when I saw your video, and I think a couple of things made really sense to me when I was actually looking for a property that I was looking for, that would actually serve me, not just the rental income, but also gives me a surety that okay, it can last longer in terms of durability, right? I felt like I can work with you, and that's where literally when I approach you, that's where our journey started. End of the day, yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And it's good to hear, Ankit, that your approach resonates with our approach. That's very good. And while you have shifted to a data-driven approach for your investment, how significant do you think it has done for you? And if you can tell us something specific impacts it has made on your decision-making process.
Yeah. See, the shift was quite significant. Initially, I held a few properties before I met you, but those properties was more of like because I'm based in Sydney, that was more of like emotional buying properties, right? I would hear about the area. I would just go inspect, speak to just agents, and rely on that sort of data, right? That was my typical approach. And again, I would say I was starting up this whole journey. But when I realized that, okay, it's not about just owning a property, I can actually make, I can change my lifestyle by owning like a couple more properties interstate as well. And to get it, over interstate those properties, I thought, I need to be more smarter because I can't be present in there. Um, and that's where I thought, I come from a background there where we pretty much it's more of like marketing background, it's more of data analysis. Analytics is my tool, do you know what I mean? And I thought, what, I professionally, I'm always a data-driven guy. I would rather use that approach when it comes to my personal buying. And that's where I thought, plugging in some numbers is not a good idea. You have to factor in a lot of, data factors. For example, location, what's the trend. And I think that's where I got your help in sort of deciding those factors, because I had a lot of options when I looked at, areas, suburbs, even the infrastructure. But I think the clarity came when I sort of, sat with you. We went through a lot of, I would say, you know, um, went to a lot of filters, like, what to consider, what not to consider. And that made me sure, okay, you know what, this is a better approach, and let's start expanding my portfolio, interstate. So yeah, that was basically my planning, that whatever I'm going to do has to do in a way that it's driven by data. And even if I fail emotionally, at least data would back it up, and that would make it a better decision making for us.
Yeah. Like I always support using data-driven approach. I have seen a lot of our clients who come to us, like previously they have invested in their backyard, which hasn't given a lot of benefits to them. That's why they sometimes consider reselling it and going interstate. And when they come to us, we always try to give them a good data-driven approach and come up with a good solution, so that rather than just looking in their backyard, they can go and invest borderlessly in different states as well.
That's right. That's right. I think biggest thing I sort of learned working with you was to evaluate like potential risk, returns based onto the trends. What are the stats? Indicators like economic or local council indicators. I learned those things, and I think these are my cap values that I want to consider anytime I sort of look into the next property.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's talk about the communication process while dealing with us, like with our team. How did you feel about the process? How did you feel about our communication? And is there anything you would recommend us to improve, or were you happy with all the services you got from our company?
No, I think I think the overall, in my buying process, I think communication played a very good key role. And I really appreciate that you kept, sort of, kept us in the loop every time there was any update. Even after, settling the property, you still, still keep asking, like, if you need help in anything, understanding anything. And I think we felt like there was a very good communication that came from your end. We felt that the push was needed, and I think, to be honest with you, people like professional people like us who are really busy building our own businesses, we need professional like you who could actually help us sort of put the things together, right? I would say exceptional support given by your team, in every step of the way. For example, even working with conveyancer, I had a good sort of experience with from your team or yourself, guided me to look into what sort of factors to be considered when I'm buying in Queensland, even helping me with the insurances, finding me the best price and all those kind of things. That gave me a lot of assurance that you guys are up to your game. That's a big difference. I felt that the kind of support I go with is pretty much invaluable.
Yeah.
Especially making decisions, when it comes to financial implications. Yeah,
I really appreciate your good feedback on our services, Ankit. So you have recently bought a property in Queensland. So if you don't mind, would you like to share, without sharing the location of the property, would you like to share the numbers, like the purchase price, what is the value now, and how much rental yield are you getting, and are you happy with those kind of results? So if you would like to share those.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the property, to be honest with you, I think that was our strategy, to have a high rental yield property. The price of the property was $505,000. And the rental yield currently, it's sitting on about 595 per week. It's a 4-bedroom house, 680 square meter, literally in the center of Cairns. I'm glad that we bought the property that is not affected by the floods, to be honest with you, much. It's one of the safer property. But yeah, like it's a very good return property overall. Like it's proven to be a successful venture. In terms of valuation, we got the valuation sitting at $570,000 right now, which is $65,000 to $70,000 in less than 6 months. That's a great return, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's good to know. Like 65,000 in 6 months, that is a good capital growth actually in that area.
Yeah. And it's still growing. Like, I think we got at a time that it was not the area didn't pick up that much, but I think it's picking up, and I think we got into a really good time. No, thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad that we have got a very good result for you after doing a lot of research. It's always better if we get good feedback from the client, and moreover, if the client gets a very good result with the investment, that gives us a lot of boost actually. Yeah, that motivates us a lot actually. And coming to the last couple of questions, Ankit, I would like to ask, like with our services, would you consider recommending our services to your friends or family who are considering, or who may consider maybe in 3 months or 6 months time to start investing in real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely recommend your services. Purely from the fact that how good the journey is, working with you. And key benefits includes your deep market knowledge, tailored advice based on your thorough research, and your genuine commitment to helping clients to overall. And I totally believe anyone who works with you will not only gain a trusted advisor, but also a partner who truly cares about their financial well-being and investment success. So highly recommend it, John.
Yeah, thanks, Ankit. Thanks, really thankful that, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and coming for this interview call. And hopefully, we will be in touch again, and we will help you in finding out more properties in different areas.
No, absolutely. Looking forward to John. Yeah, pleasure, catching up, with you. And yeah, no, mate, it's a journey together, and we want to be a successful.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ankit. So I'll see you next time.
Done. See you. Bye.
Thank you. See ya.